imperative. We need to make sure that the person that represents us in that position represents us. And when I say that, first of all, making sure that that person takes our concerns, takes our issues, and takes them to the city. We need to make sure that person is participative, that they are there to represent us when decisions need to be made for the city of Chicago. We want to make sure that whoever is in that position, that that door is open, and that you feel comfortable as residents to come in and talk to the alderman. The alderman should be approachable. It should not be a fictitious person. It should not be a name. It should be a face that you know when you see and that you're comfortable to come up and say, "Hello, Alderman. Thank you for working with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you."
Now, can we all say at the table, we all agree?
Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
I was saying, can we all say, we got one, that we all agree with what she just said?
Yes.
Yes.
I think maybe there's a bit of misunderstanding. We're going to ask a question, and everyone's not going to answer. We're just going to select
Right.
who answers. So everyone's not going to have an answer to every question.
Well, no, we said, we all agree with what she just said on that question.
Oh, okay. Perfect. How about this? So my next question is, what are your plans to bring businesses to the community? And do you have a game plan for cleaning abandoned lots, improving services, returning empty properties, green grocery stores, not being, I'm sorry, somebody's writing this very small for me.
I'll take it out.
Right.
And you know, it's not often you get 7 heads to agree to the same subject, but you know what? If I had known I was going to be the first speaker, I'd take 25, 30 minutes.
I'm going to put this question in front of you because,
You know,
as I said, my eyes were right there.
I worked in placing entities like Taco Bell, McDonald's, and DSW, and businesses that we patronize in communities that are outside of the South Shore area. And I can tell you, the infrastructure of South Shore is dependent on economic development, businesses like that in the ward. You know, and so as the question was asked, 71st and Exchange, from 73rd to 75th should have the same type of retail that Lincoln Park has, on Milwaukee, on downtown Chicago, which should have more than just Popeye's chicken or a Giro's beef shop. It should have the same thing that we see when we go to other communities. And so to bring that business to the ward and to bring the social services that we need, it's no time to study. There's no more study that needs to be done. It's time for people that know what those resources are, have experience with them, and bring them to the community. Kilwin's Chocolate just opened up in Hyde Park and Harper's Court, and Three Brothers Burgers and all that. Those entities want to come to this community. There's an opportunity for us to have that opportunity here, but you have to have people who are shovel ready to bring them here. You know, I come to the table with not only just those resources, but through the governor's office and the Department of Human Services and every resource social service-wise we need. I bring that to the table right now. I use it every day across the city. And this is no time for study. This is no time for people that need to understand where they are. This is time for people who know where they are and know how to bring them. And that's what I represent.
Next question. We've heard quite a bit about South Shore, but the 7th Ward includes South Chicago, Calumet Park, and Jeffrey Manor. What is the outreach plan for those areas?
Well, y'all gotta realize, me and Mr. Martin, we've been knowing each other. We ran last campaign, so we do a lot of joking. So there's no hard fight between us. I have family stay in Jeffrey Manor. So when I have co-workers, family, my Latin brothers and sisters I go over and talk to over in Dearborn. And what the biggest problem is for all of them is no one comes to them. So my biggest issue of what I plan to do is I'm going to them. I'm not asking them to come to me. I'm going to walk through like I regularly do, walking through the neighborhood, knock on the door, talk to them, have have meetings out there when we can have meetings. Go to them. Stop waiting on people to come to you. As aldermen, you need to be on the streets, going to the people.
That's the kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I had to look up and see it. My Latin brothers and sisters, they don't even come to the 7th Ward. And they live in the 7th Ward. They go over to the 10th Ward and ask the alderman over there to do things for them, which is terrible. And they're some of the business people. So they say, yo, if you make it, are you going to come talk to us? I said, I'm over here talking to you now, I ain't alderman. So why not? So my plan is to reach out to all of them and go to them and not wait for them to come to me.
I can address this question to all of the panel. If elected, would you take a pay cut to curb spending if asked to?
You know, the salary of $115,000 sounds really impressive. You know, when I saw that, I didn't even realize the alderman made $115,000. I'm doing pretty good in my career right now. You know, I don't make $115,000, but you know, I think that's pretty good. I'm willing to take a pay cut. You know, matter of fact, because I'm able to maintain off what it is I got now, and it's far below $115,000. Trust me. So if it means giving up a little of what I can get to bring and share that with my community, I'm willing to do that. You know, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to rebuild our community. You know, and I don't think it's possible for us to take a pay cut, you know, because I'm not going to say that, I don't think they're going to say, well, if you're going to take a pay cut, you're not going to get $115,000, you're going to get $75,000 when someone else on the other side of town, one of those aldermen are getting $115,000. So I think that's a little more realistic to think. Wow, that was a quick minute. But, so to answer that, yes. But since I got 1 minute, I just want to go a little bit off of what that last question was. If that's okay. I got 1 minute? All right, good. This is one ward. You know, we got the north end and we got the south end. You know, we got the east end and we got the west end. We have to make sure who's ever in that position sees it as a one ward and not take care of those people who fund your campaigns. Don't take care of those people who are connected with you. You know, my family lives in Jeffrey Manor, and I live on this end right here. You know, I got some of my other family that live over on 91st and Oglesby. You know, they're in a good pocket. I'm in a bad pocket. I don't want whoever sits in this position to only take care of those communities or those people who are connected with them. You know, take care of our end of it because we need resources and things like that brought back as well. They get us in. All right, thank you.
As far as the hours go, I like to sleep in, so my hours are trying to be available for people to come by. Of course, you got things that be done in the daytime. When people work, you can't close the office at 5. The office should be open on Saturdays. Sundays I'll probably take, maybe I'll take Sunday and Monday off, maybe 2-day weekend that way. But yeah, the office has to be, you've got to be available for people to be there. Again, with the other communities, for decades now, the Alderman's office has been located in South Shore, which is way up high on the ward map. It should be maybe a little more centrally located, easier for people in these other areas to get to the Alderman's office. Just my opinion, even though I live up here, that means I might have to commute. But, you know, you've got people that may not have a car and have to take 3 buses to get to the Alderman's office. Again, it's about accessibility.
Bureaucracy necessary to get things done. That's a very good question.
That's a good question. I guess I have to answer this one by default. Well, first of all, I would draw from the body of knowledge that I've already ascertained. One thing about being a project manager over the SSA You're interfacing with all of the major city departments. You're building those relationships. You know, I've sat in on automatic briefing meetings and talked about and discussed, you know, future planning objectives and so forth and so on. You know, I can bring those frames of references to the table, but then the other component is working with the community and growing with the community, because there's a multitude of needs, there's a multitude of desires, and you know, for me to think that I have all the answers, you know, I don't think that that's going to be realistic. I think that collectively we'll be able to achieve, you know, the goals that the community wants in its totality.
Thank you very much. Someone has issued a challenge to all the candidates. And I'm here to read it out to you. Can each one of you eat, shop, get gas, and entertain in the same board for the next month? Yes or no? So we'll start with you. I'll repeat the question. This is a challenge. We're not going to do this round. Can each one of you eat, shop, get gas, and entertain in the 7th ward for the next month? Oh, you don't have to get up for this. It's just a yes or no question, but thank you.
With some difficulty, I'm thinking we have a lot of chance. I can't think of a pet store off the top of my head.
Eat, shop, get gas, and
Well, we
entertain.
shop for the cats. And as far as it's not,
I'm sorry, this is a yes or no question. I know I'm adding levity to the forum now.
with difficulty, I mean, there's not a lot to say, not sure, because there's not a lot of available.
Okay, Chuck cannot meet the challenge. All right then. Say yes. Yes. Okay.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Unequivocally, yes. How you doing?
First of all, I have breakfast at L&M every other Saturday. And thirdly, and most importantly, about 2005, I asked Sandy Jackson to look at that diagram on the back of her office and say, we need a grocery store. If Pete's Fresh Market was willing to come and build on that site so that we have a fresh place for groceries. And so right now, there is no fresh grocery store in this community. So yes, I can eat, but we've got to have outlets for fresh groceries, we have to have outlets for upscale dining. But yes, I can eat at L&M every morning.
Okay, next question. How would you engage the immigrant community, Haitians, Spanish, Africans, etc., in the 7th ward?
What was the beginning?
How will you engage the immigrant community, Haitians, Spanish, Africans, etc., in the 7th ward?
I can take that.
Engage.
I'm in the descendant of the Duvalier area.
I'm sorry, sir, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because Mr. Maxwell was up, let's let Mr. Maxwell take.
I'm Haitian, so I can.
Well, you have to get up. You have to.
Come naturally.
Please go right ahead, Mr. Maxwell.
Well, I'm a proponent of diversity. And our community is comprised of about 97% African American, and I'm very proud of my heritage. However, when it comes to engaging the other communities, I think that it's critical that we embrace differences in people, ideas and thoughts and so forth and so on. That's what our country is comprised of. That's what our democracy is all about. I would not want my child or any family member of mine being shut out simply because they're looked upon as being a minority or being different in any capacity. So I would make a concerted effort to continue to bring the community together as a whole. And I stand on what I said about us being united or standing as one. That's critical. Together we will stand in this community. And that means everybody, every group of people that want to reside here.
Thank you so much. This question is about political
It's very important that we have someone who is accessible and responsive to our needs. I think that's where we've been kind of break. I think that's where the breakdown is. Now you maybe forget the question.
This question is about political accountability. What practices and systems would you put into place to ensure that you and your office are accountable, transparent, accessible, and responsible to your constituents?
Exactly. Okay, so just picking up where I left off at, it's important that, when you're transparent, and you see the ward as one ward and not as, a specific type of ward that tailors to your own specific needs. You can't be one-sided with this, because you're serving different people, different backgrounds, different demographics and whatnot. So it's important to be transparent in order to service all of your constituents and not just some. And I think that's where the breakdown has been in previous administrations. So if I was elected, when I elected, if I received the appointment, I would be transparent and take the best interests of my constituents and account.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Should we have this component tonight? Certainly.
I would just like to share that in order for us to make sure that there is accountability, we would simply need to put policies and procedures in place. With policies and procedures, we can guarantee that we're all treated fairly. So with that in mind, one particular segment of the ward could not be provided favoritism if we're making sure that policies and procedures are followed. Thank you.
Awesome. 30 seconds.
Can I make a comment?
Certainly, you may.
This ward will not be successful unless we take the relationships from across the city, from across commerce and business and government, and make this community successful. This is not thinking a rally around putting the seventh ward in the vacuum. We need all the resources of the city, and that comes down to relationships. And what sustains relationships is integrity and honesty over time. Not just newcomers to the game, not just get money as opposed to good money. And so when you have integrity, sometimes your credit score will show because you don't have the money that others that are using their office for gain will have. So I take it with great pride. In fact, I've been doing business in Chicago for 30 years. And because of my integrity, because of my ability to help people sincerely without looking for personal gain, I've been successful in being able to create relationships that I will bring to bear in this community. And I think when we look at these gentlemen here, everyone has an intent of integrity. And when asked the question, I'll pose. When asking the question, would you take a pay cut? $115,000 is a lot of money. A lot of people in this room don't make half of that. But it's not about money. I don't think everybody up here is not here for the money. They're here to do service to the community. And if $115,000 you can't live off of, if you get tired, you have headaches, and you have to go and get depressed and make this kind of money, then there's something wrong because there's a lot of people in this room doing good work for their families on far less than that.
Thank you so much. A lot of candidates have great ideas. Will you be able to prove your ideas in the 7th Ward as well as your residency? Will you be able to prove your residency in the 7th Ward?
That's very easy to do. Horseman, Miss Bird, Miss Daniels, if y'all know the principals. Thunderbird Hotel, I know that. So that I've been here 45 years. I raised 6 of my kids. One of the candidates used to be my daughter's, what was y'all? She used to mentor my daughter. So yes, I will show you my tax bill that had that SSA 49 on it. And I have a house. So yes, I will be willing to show anything that you want. You come knock on my door at 2 o'clock in the morning, you might not get in, but if you see the blue card there, you know I'm at home.
Thank you. Well, I'm hoping that everybody who on our panel has been here today, our 7th Ward They are not hiding from us. They can be reached, they can be talked to, they have phone numbers. This is an opportunity for you to mix, mingle, and communicate, engage. That is what we are about at Edge, please.
I'd just like to say one thing. I am so impressed by the friendliness and the congeniality of all the appointees up here, and the fact that we're able to come together and laugh and joke and show our concern for public service. And I pledge to you all this way right now. And we had some 65 people, I guess, applied for this job, and we're here today. I have never seen more cooperative professionals trying to help their community. And so, regardless of who gets appointed, I promise you, I will give my resources, whoever that is, to continue our mission to make the Southern Ward the best place to be.
edge.communitypartnership@gmail.com. If you haven't received one of those pamphlets, please get a card from one of us. We're on Facebook, so please like our page. And again, what we try to do is keep everyone informed and get you involved. We don't necessarily, again, this is not a political organization, but when things come up, we want you to be involved and informed of how to be a part of that process. So thank you again. Our next meeting, our first meeting of the year is next Saturday at 2 o'clock, Rainbow Beach and Park Fieldhouse.
Next Saturday, not tomorrow.
No, next Saturday, February 9th, which is also